Yesterday, our Fox UP reporter Kelsey Nemestow informed us on the differences between organic and conventional food products. Today, she has a new subject, one that's been a hot topic for some, GMOs. Kelsey.
Ben, you've probably heard of them before, GMOs, genetically modified organisms. It's pretty difficult to avoid them completely because GMOs are used in practically everything these days.
And it's amazing some of the things that have been done through this natural method of breeding. Take, for example, corn. If you were to see wild corn, you would never recognize it as the corn that we eat today. So it's really, it's incredible what can be done through these breeding techniques.
However, Monty also says that at some point it was understood that scientists could inject the genes of other organisms that the plant would never naturally be able to breed with in order to get certain characteristics. She cited the famous example of scientists wanting to make a tomato travel hardy. To do this, they used genetics from a fish to help the tomato plant withstand environmental stresses. But now the problem is growing.
Things have become a lot more subtle. And so a lot of times things are bred so that they can withstand a certain type of pesticide being sprayed on it. And so they might put a bacteria into a corn plant, for example, or they might only germinate if they're sprayed with this chemical.
GMOs are defined as plants or animals that have been genetically engineered with DNA from bacteria, viruses, or other plants and animals. These experimental combinations of genes from different species cannot occur in nature or in traditional crossbreeding. The transgenic technology was formed in the 1980s and has been used in over 40 species of plants and also in animals. Monty says it was originally thought that the use of GMOs would help increase production of food and reduce farmers' use of pesticides.
But we haven't really found that to be true. They haven't really found that crops have increased if you actually look at the data. And on top of that, some of these genetically modified seeds are actually being produced specifically for use of certain pesticides. So it doesn't seem like that's going to help us to reduce that chemical load if they need that in order to germinate, for example.
Monty says most developed countries do not consider GMOs to be safe. In more than 60 countries around the world, including Australia, Japan, and all of the countries in the European Union, there are significant restrictions or outright bans on the production and sale of GMOs. In the U.S., Monty says the government has approved GMOs based on studies conducted by the same corporations that created them and profit from their sale. And products containing GMOs do not need to be labeled.
People pick up that literature and say, what is a GMO? I think that's the thing about the labeling laws that is incredible to me, is that I think people just deserve to know. If people deserve to know whether something is organic or not, they deserve to know how much sodium is in it. They also deserve to be able to make the choice about whether or not they consume a genetically modified ingredient. And if they don't want to take that risk with their bodies, that should be their choice.
Now there's much more to be learned about GMOs. We have a few links you can check out on our website at uppermichigansource.com. Ben?
All right, thank you, Kelsey.
Thanks.